Hey guys, what's up? I do not feel like doing anything today. My brain is just blank. I think that this is like a recovery day. You know, you know those days where you might not even necessarily feel like taking a recovery day. It just kind of happens. Like your body's just done. Your mind is just done rushing and trying to get things done. You might wake up and you really need to get stuff done because there's always stuff that needs to be done, but you just can't. You can get started on it and you go for a while and it's like torture. You keep thinking, man, I just need to go lay down, you know, or I really need to sit back with some chili or some soup or something and just eat something or drink something hot and just sit around. I don't think I have like a fever or anything. I don't know what's up with me. I'm not sick, I don't think. I think I'm just exhausted. Like I was earlier today, not really earlier today because it's 5 o'clock. Yeah, it's like noon or a little past noon or something. I didn't wake up until like 9 o'clock in the morning this morning. It's the weekend, so I mean it's not like I'm lazy or anything. I needed to catch up on sleep, and apparently I need to catch up on waking rest. Is that a thing? I don't know. Speaking of chili, I went to donate plasma the other day, and I hadn't eaten anything, and I knew that like they were gonna take my protein levels and all that. So I really or iron or whatever it is that they take, and I was like, man, I really probably need to eat some protein or something. And so I went to Wendy's and I was thinking, I hadn't had Wendy's chili in a while. Wendy's chili, at least, used to be really good. I don't know if it still is or not. I tried for a while to figure out how to make chili at home taste like Wendy's chili. I really think the secret is just sugar. But anyway, I went in there and it was like 10, 15, I think it is what it was. And I was like, hey, I noticed when I went in there that it was still the breakfast menu up on the thing. And I was like, hey, do y'all do chili still? You know, because I was thinking I was going to splurge a little bit because I was going to make some money, by giving away my blood. So I went in there and I was like, you still have chili because I was going to get chili, a big burger with everything on it, and a large French fry. I had a drink in the car. I was just going to get it to go and go sit in the car and eat it. But they were like, no, no, we do, but we're still doing breakfast. And I was like, oh, okay. When is lunch? Or when do you stop doing breakfast? And they were like 10:30. I'm like, okay. The guy's like, yeah, in about 15 minutes. I was like, okay, have a nice day. And I went to McDonald's right down the road, and I was gonna get a burger there because I mean I'd been up for a while. I didn't even pay attention to what time it was. I get to McDonald's a little ways down the road, and they're still doing freaking breakfast, and they don't start doing lunch until 10:30. Now, granted, we've got about 10 minutes at this point till it's 10:30, and I'm just like, man, like it was pretty obvious to me that like nobody at that Wendy's really wanted to be there. It took them probably 5 minutes to like come to the counter. I was standing at the register forever, and I get it. There's like an old guy working there. That sucks. That sucks, dude. That like that guy didn't get to retire. He has to work at a freaking fast food place in his old age. Good God, what are we doing? It's terrible. I was a vegetarian, sort of, kind of, for about 10 years. I didn't eat meat at all. Uh, I'm not gonna say I didn't eat meat at all. I was lazy about it. Like when when work would order us pizza or something, I would just, I mean, I would usually pick the pepperonis off, but like sometimes there's like a pepperoni up under the cheese that you don't see, and I wasn't about to spit it out. I just ate it. And like and like I used to get Wendy's chili. That was the one. There were two or three exceptions I made. I went ahead and ate chili, and I wasn't about to pick the meat out of every little bit of it. And I really like clam chowder. I had raw oysters one time when I was in that 10-year period. I didn't really consider that a big deal. But I didn't eat any like substantial amount of meat, you know, in that time because, it was funny because, you know, men are like hyper competitive. It's ridiculous. There's a like a group of people in Africa. It's like one of the, um, I mean, obviously indigenous, but like one of the primitive. I don't know the word off the top of my head, but one of those primitive cultures out there that they will literally make a glove out of sleeping bullet ants and put it on this kid's hand. This kid is who's going through a rite of passage or whatever to become a man or a warrior or whatever. I think it's like a warrior thing. I don't know. They'll put these sleeping bullet ants on this kid's hand in like a glove, and they wake up and they start biting because they've all been sewn together. And the kid will just be like delirious in pain. And I heard they don't even do that once. It's like something you got to go through like a bunch of times. How ridiculous do we have to be? That was a little bit of a side tangent, but I would be working with these dudes, and when you're around other dudes, especially new dudes that you don't know, as a guy, you kind of feel this like urge to be, or like to maybe I don't know the words. I don't have words today, but you kind of present yourself in a way that's like maybe defensive, like, don't screw with me. I'm a tough guy, kind of. There's so much tough guy crap, but you'll be sitting around joking and stuff, and people would make jokes about vegetarians back when I was, not eating meat. And I would just kind of nod along. Like, it didn't offend me at all. It didn't hurt my feelings. I kind of, I get it. It's like we're all nervous around each other and we're just trying to tell each other jokes and stuff to kind of ease the tension and maybe not kill each other. Maybe we'll even get along. Maybe you'll actually say something funny one day and we'll actually genuinely laugh. But people would be like joking about vegetarians and stuff, and I would be like, yeah, funny, but but then I'd start picking the pepperonis off the pizza and feeding them to my coworkers. Like, here, you want some more pepperoni? And and I remember this one time, this dude was like, one of the dudes that had been making the vegetarian jokes. I was like, yeah, well, I just don't eat meat. And he was like, oh, well, is it like a health thing, or is it like you don't want to hurt the animals or whatever? And the truth is, it wasn't a health thing. I don't give a, I mean, I didn't give a crap about my health at that point in my life. I was one of those young guys that thought he was invincible. And I mean, honestly, when you're a healthy young guy, you almost are invincible. Like, you can live through a lot of crap. Not invincible, but very, very tough. Tougher probably than you think. And And there's really no good answer to that because you kind of look like a, not really, but like you feel like you're gonna look like a little bitch either way, there, however you answer it. So I was just like, well, I didn't want to hurt the animals. Or at least I think that's what I said. I don't know. I don't remember. It was a long time ago. But I didn't. That was it. Is the the meat industry treats animals like crap, and we have this idea in Western civilization that the animals are less important than people because the Bible says so at some point. And I just never agreed with that. I never did. Uh, I disagree with God on a lot of things, and I think I'm okay with that because I have to be myself, and I might be wrong. God's usually right. He's God, but even if I'm wrong, unless you're going to explain it to me in a way that I can understand and in a way that makes sense, I'm just going to keep thinking what I think. But we have this idea in Western culture that like animals are less important than people, and I don't logically see why that's the case at all. Humans think of ourselves as being smarter, and so that's why we're more important. It's not because we're bigger, because obviously we don't think that elephants or whales are more important than us. It's got to be intelligence, right? But I mean, we build houses out of two by fours and particle board or OSB board, and birds build nests, and ants build ant hills, and uh, ants actually have wars and everything. Ants, there are certain species of ants that straight up garden and adopt pets or other, not pets necessarily, but other species. Um, and ant hills can be very intricate, very like good luck getting a human to do that. It might sound ridiculous I'm saying this, but my point is I've just never understood why I'm more important logically speaking than a cockroach, you know? So that was kind of it was like a moral obligation on my part to not take part in the meat industry. At least that's how I saw it at the time. I've changed my mind since then. I do that a lot because I don't know everything, but I've changed my mind since then. I have 5 dogs now, and the truth of it is, whether it's comfortable or uncomfortable for me to deal with, um, humans are omnivores, and dogs are omnivores, and it just makes more sense logistically, um, if we're all eating similar things. I have a cat too, and cats are hypercarnivores, so that makes it a little bit tricky. I can't just give the cat my leftovers all the time because he can't eat it. A lot of it's not good for him. And I also tend to put a lot of onions and stuff in my food, which you can't really give to dogs because it's toxic to them. But I will, like, anytime I get any kind of meat, um, for me to eat, I'll share it with the dogs because it just, man, if I had to live off nothing but dog food, I think I would just die of boredom. Dog food and dog treats and stuff are very, very bland. I've tried dog treats before. They're very, very hard to chew, and they're very bland. They're not terrible, but they're kind of bland. Now, dogs also have less taste buds than us, but they have a very hugely better sense of smell. So it's kind of a trade off for them, I guess. But smell is part of how you process food. So it's, I don't know. I don't know what I'm talking about in this video. I didn't really feel like doing anything, and I didn't really have much of anything to talk about. But yeah, it's actually not that hard to stop eating meat. Really, I thought that it was going to be a lot harder than it was, but I realized into for some reason I think it's just the cliche. When I first stopped eating meat, I just ate a ton of salad. I just thought, oh man, I'm a vegetarian. I'm gonna have to live off salad. Not true. Actually, most of my favorite foods I could still eat. Egg salad. I know that the egg dairy industry is also crap. It's, also, it's kind of part of the whole meat industry architecture system thing in our modern civilization. But I lived off eggs and mayonnaise for months at a time sometimes because I've been poor a lot in my life. A lot of, I mean, potato salad. I love potato salad. I can eat the crap out of some potato salad. Um, I made an exception for clam chowder because I love clam chowder chili. Um, I ate a ton of hash browns. I would get bags of tater tots and just smash them and toss them in the skillet with a bunch of onion and peppers and stuff like that. Uh, Fake meat like vegetarian hamburgers and hot dogs and chicken nuggets and stuff isn't that great, but it's not terrible either. So I used to make these burgers with fake meat, and I'd put like mayonnaise, onion, lettuce, or spinach. I think I prefer spinach. Kale is also really good. Romani lettuce is pretty good. And I put like pesto on there. Oh my god, dude, it's so good. And then I ate some hummus. I really like hummus. Man, I'm making myself hungry. But yeah, it's not that hard. Like you'll like if you want to stop eating meat, uh, it's probably pretty helpful because I mean, the less money goes to this corrupt, horrible, absolutely lazy and um, meat industry that we have with very little integrity and all that. It's just I really have so much beef, so to speak, with the meat industry. It's kind of ridiculous. I do realize that there are ethical farmers. Really, a lot of farmers are ethical because they're normal people. A lot of them with empathy that don't want to torture animals. But I think that I don't know if I'm right or not in any of these videos that I make. I could be wrong about any of this stuff, but I would love it myself if we as a civilization and a society could get away from this idea that animals are less important than people because they obviously have thoughts and feelings just like we do. They process the world obviously differently than we do, but they're not dumb. Like my dogs are not dumb. They sometimes it feels like they are, but they're not. They just have a different kind of brain than I do, and they process things differently, and so you know, they have different feelings. And I don't know how their thoughts work, or if they even have thoughts in the same way that we think of thoughts, because I don't understand dog psychology or dog neuroscience or whatever the word is all that well to be real. But they definitely have feelings, and I think that we need to acknowledge that makes them. I mean, they're obviously valuable. It's not a matter of value, I don't think, but the fact that they have feelings and we have empathy should, in my opinion, mean that we treat them and all the other animals with, respect, dignity, and empathy and kindness. I freaking love chicken strips, right? Um, I really love Cajun and seafood. I grew up in Florida. That's just kind of, how I lived a huge chunk of my life, and I love seafood. It's just kind of part of who I am as a person, I guess. But at the same time, there are ways of killing a fish quickly and not letting it suffer. You know what I mean? You don't have to throw crabs directly into boiling water to kill them. That, like, there's kinder ways of doing it. You don't have to kill baby animals to get more tender meat. Like that, you're being kind of ridiculous at that point, I think, in my opinion. You could do the old ones, you know. But anyway, I think there's always probably a better way of doing things, and the way that we treat animals, there's plenty of room for development. The bar is pretty low. So anyway, this video got long. I don't know how I had this much to say about things today because my mind is absolutely blank. But I will see you guys later. Have a good one. Be nice to each other. Be nice to animals. And bye.